Hello everybody, what's up? I have a 2-hour delay at school, so I'm taking advantage of that and starting this video. And speaking of the video, today we'll be talking about the War of Hormone Era. But really it was kind of just a concept change. Because after Danger they began promoting War of Hormone and changed their style and hair and stuff, so I just want to get more into that. Anyways, if you watched last week's episode on the Danger Era, then you know most of the history of the album and how they promoted it up to its release. So anyways, on the Dark and Wild album there was this song called War of Hormone, and on the 21st of October 2014 BTS released a total of 19 concept photos for their follow-up song War of Hormone on their official Facebook and Twitter page. The music video was also released on the 21st of October 2014. And the music video is honestly one of my favorites, and all the boys look like such full course meals and just wow.
Hello, 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 hello. Tell me what you want right now. Hello, 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 hello. I'ma give it to you, girl, right now. 내건 아니라지만 넌 shaker. 네 앞에서 baby going in and on. 네가 다가서고 싶지만 너무 심하게 아름다워.
They looked so good, and I wish you could hear me screaming over their looks through your screen, but sadly Daniel shows no emotion at all when he speaks, so I don't really think you can fully understand where I'm coming from. But just Jesus Christ, this was such a golden time. I think we should just get into the categories before I keep babbling on. First category, style. Alright, so I really don't know what to call this era's style, or if there's a label you can even put on it, but damn did they all look like such meals, oh my god. This was definitely one of my favorite concepts that they took on, and just wow, they looked so gorgeous. Anyways, let's just talk about each boy individually. Okay, so first let's talk about Jimin. This was really the era for the Djibouti. You know what I'm talking about. Those nice slim-fitting red pants that he used to wear with the suspenders. Yet there it is. One of the best sights I've ever seen in my life. Okay, anyways. Well, he wore those red pants usually with white long-sleeved tops, and they didn't really have one consistent look, so sometimes he also wore sweaters and other times he wore flannels. And he usually always paired these looks with black skinny jeans. Now for Jin. Jin was over here looking fine in this plaid blazer with a ripped white t-shirt underneath, and he usually wore black skinny jeans with that look. He just wore a lot of blazers throughout this era, and sometimes they were different colors. I remember him wearing a blue one once. And yeah, this was our man's look for the era. Now for RM. This was really the era where I started noticing him a little bit more. I don't know, I just really liked how he looked for this era and thought he was such a snack. Jesus Christ, please control me. He wore a striped blazer over a collared shirt, and it was always buttoned really low, showing off some of his chest. And then he paired this look with striped pants to match his blazer, at just wow. What a man. On the side he also sometimes wore sweaters or just blazers over different colored shirts. J-Hope wore like a black blazer over a white t-shirt with black skinny jeans. And he also occasionally wore flannels with a black hat sometimes too. Suga's outfit that he performed in was a little bit different than the others, but that made me like it even more. He wore a black beret and a black bomber jacket, but like it wasn't a bomber jacket. I don't know, it was just a black jacket. Anyways, he wore that over a white t-shirt and wore this pair of skinny jeans with patches all over them. Now onto V. First, let me just say that I remember watching the War of Hormone music video before I really knew any of their faces or names. And V was really the only boy I could focus on because he just looked so pretty. And on that note, let's discuss what he was wearing. He wore a black leather jacket over a black scoop t-shirt, and then he wore the same striped pants that RM did. And on the side sometimes he would wear like a white t-shirt with a grey cardigan, and just oh baby boy looked so soft. And lastly, let's discuss our man Jungkook, who's 18 and knows what he needs to know. Okay, so he wore this red and black striped sweater that had holes in it, and it low-key reminded me of Freddy Krueger. And he wore like this really thin black scarf with it. And the black jeans he paired with this look had a patch right below his right knee. He also wore this black, red and white fuzzy sweater sometimes, and it just made him look like a little cutie. Second category, hair. This is one of my favorite eras when it comes to the boys' hair. Probably right after the Run era, because Jimin's orange hair saved me. Speaking of Jimin, Jimin had brown hair that he sometimes just wore in his face, and other times it was like kind of parted to the side, and the ends would be all messy, and it was just such a cute look on him. Jin had brown hair with like red undertones and he also wore it down in his face. And it was really textured and had a messy look. RM's hair had a lot going on. Like it was a really light faded pink for a little bit. And then there was teal in it. And then it was lilac for a little bit, but yeah, all the colors looked good on him. He wore it down in his face with the sides shaved. J-Hope's hair was red and he kind of had choppy bangs that he wore down. My baby Suga had red hair that was pretty textured and he also had bangs that were like cut straight across his face. And he normally paired it with his little black beret and just ugh. He looked so cute. V had beautiful lilac colored hair that he wore parted to one side and sometimes he wore the little comma hairstyle and I just loved how this looked on him. Like oh my gosh, he looked like a little prince. And as the color faded we started to see the color underneath and his hair looked blonde with a lilac tint. And it still was a super cute look.
와 드립나.
Jungkook had black hair and this is definitely one of my top 3 hairstyles for him. Like oh my god, he had the little comma hairstyle so we were able to see a bit of his forehead. And it was just all cute and messy and I don't know. I just really liked how it looked on him.
중구야. 니 왜 그러노? 니 요즘 왜 그러노?
드럽나.
Third category, makeup. The boys actually kind of changed it up a bit for this era. I mean the makeup was pretty similar to all their past eras, but it was actually visible and you could tell they were wearing it. Jungkook always had smoky eyeliner on. I think Suga was one of the boys with really prominent eye makeup. His lower lash line always had eyeliner on it and he wore brown/red eyeshadow. J-Hope, Jin and RM all had smoky eyeliner and eyeshadow. V did too. And his brows were always filled in and he just looked so sharp, oh my f***. And lastly our boy Jimin, who's known for his smoky looks. LMAO, well you guessed it. This look also featured a smoky-eyed Jimin. Fourth category, Awards 1. Alright, so let's talk about their win at the Golden Disc Awards for the Dark and Wild album, for which they received a disc bonsang. Next to the Gaon Chart K-Pop Music Awards, they received the World Rookie Award.
맡겨주신 아미 진심으로 감사드리고 너무 사랑합니다.
우리 저희 상 받았습니다. 또
우리 이게 신인상인가요? 아니죠. 본상인가요? 아니죠. 이게 바로 월드 루키상입니다.
우리 월드라고요. 월드.
이거 한 번밖에 못 받을 것 같아요.
대한민국 본상보다 더 멀리 나가는.
그렇죠. 월드 루키. 대한민국에서 받은 상 한 개국이만 세계 200개국이 넘는 나라가 있습니다.
월드라니까. 너무 월드 가야지. 월드 루키 부문이에요. 국내.
And at the Arirang TV Pops and Soul Awards, they received the Rising Star Award. At the Seoul Music Awards they also received a Bonsang Award.
저희 아미 정말 작년 한 해 동안 저를 사랑해주시고 응원해주시고 정말 고생하셨다고 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 감사합니다.
아미 사랑합니다.
본상 시상해주시기 바랍니다.
Fifth category, variety shows. I already discussed some of the bigger variety shows that they appeared on while promoting Danger in last week's episode, so there's not much left to talk about, but I'll scrounge up a few. Alright, so they were on Pops and Soul where they took sticky notes off the wall and answered the questions written on them.
맞아, 진영이도 생일이에요. 다음 달에 생일이고 12월 4일 진영 생일입니다.
비생일만 생각하고 있어.
네, 저는
They also reacted to their music video and commentated on the making of it and everything along with that. They also released their 2015 season's Greetings disc where they basically just filmed themselves doing photo shoots and things like that.
종국 씨, 제가 이런
Oh, they also filmed their second BTS Now video, and it's basically a video diary of their trip to Europe and America.
사진 찍으러요?
다려가고 있어요. 저희 엄마 올 때 저보고 다리에서 좋았다 그랬는데 고향으로 갑니다.
Sixth category, some of my favorite moments. Wow, okay, so of course let us start with Bangtan bombs. Okay, first one would definitely be Jin and Jimin's push-up time. Seriously, just so many golden moments.
이 내려간 거야 방금. 엉덩이만 내려갔다면 그 표현력이야?
너무 무거워.
Second is their whole Halloween video where they got all dressed up and Sugar Baby was so excited for his costume, and just wow, yes, those are our boys. Then I also really love the video of where Jimin is trying to find Jungkook, and the way he says his name makes my heart hurt because I am just so soft for these boys.
전정국이 전정국이
안 됐어.
이팀 여기
죽여줘.
전정국이 여기 전정국이 정국이 어디 있을까요? 전정국이 정국이 위아더 전정. 우리 정국이가 저기서 열심히 인터뷰를 하고 있는 모습을 보니까 굉장히 자랑스럽네요. 우리 정국이, 우리 정국이야 많이 컸네.
Third is when V is practicing his MC script, and he hits his finger and just wow, my baby.
오케이. 아우.
Another cute short clip is the one where V and Jimin are playing on that app and Jimin does this really crooked smile, and it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
노래 아는 거 같아.
And lastly, I'll include the clip of Jimin and V teasing J-Hope, and then J-Hope ends up chasing their asses around the office, and it's really just such a good old time. Also, I just want to include that this was the time when RM released his first mixtape and shot the music video for Do You, and when the boys came to support him they were all so cute.
리더야, 오빠 왔다.
줄길이 왔어요. 사진 보니까 장난 아니던데.
우리 리더 오늘 스피드에 있어요.
배운 걸 건데.
형 앉아 계세요. 그냥 앉아 계세요.
야.
So there we have it. The war of Hormone Era / concept is complete. I didn't go too in depth about the new sound of their album or the album in general because I did all of that during last week's episode. So if you're interested in learning about it, then you should definitely go watch that video. LMAO anyways. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite eras and it made me fall in love with them even more. And just wow. I love how their hair and outfits looked and I could talk about it for hours, but LMAO I won't. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this week's video and are excited for next week's. See you next time.
네가 무엇을 하든 I will kill for. 내가 무엇을 하든 I'll be real for. 똑바로 봐, 이게 바로 네가 파파란 beast mode. 남자는 담배, 여자는 바람 필 때 I smoke beat, it's a beat smoke. Who the man told you crazy? Who the fella told you crazy? I'm better than your lady.